Alrighty, all, welcome back to the channel. We're back on the internet together again today. Young Australians losing hope about their financial futures. I wouldn't say it's limited to young Australians. I think it's all Australians are having a rough trot.
Young Australians are feeling hopeless about the future, with 4 out of 5 aged between 18 and 24 expecting to be worse off financially than their parents, according to new research from Monash University. Joining us this afternoon on The Debrief is Jai Moss from the Australian Radio Network in Maroochydore and Billy Milivanovic from the Wine Chats podcast in Brisbane. Good afternoon to both of you. Jai, if I can start by asking you, were you surprised by this research that so many young Australians feel so disillusioned right now?
I'm going to answer the question, how could you be surprised about that? You got young people coming into the workforce or having a few years in the workforce and quickly realising that what they're being paid versus what things cost, properties, having that roof over your head. That's the goal of most people. I'm going to go to work hard, I'll be able to save up a deposit, get my own house, apartment, unit, whatever your budget is. Those opportunities are very fleeting now for the young. Then you got cost of living. So you got rents being expensive while people are trying to save mortgages, or deposits for mortgages, should I say. Utilities are up through the roof. Groceries continue to go up. People say, inflation's, it's starting to level off. Go and look at Woolworths. Every 2 weeks, they're raising prices on stuff 20 cents here, 50 cents there. Saw a video recently about there was Coca-Cola slabs for $60. I don't know why you'd even pay that. I know that's a luxury, but $60, you've got to be joking. It's cheaper than beer. Oh, sorry, it's more expensive than beer for a slab of Coke.
Look, Tash, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I live out of home, I live with 2 roommates, and even between the 3 of us, sometimes it's so hard to save money. And that's not even including thinking about the people who live in the capital cities, where we're seeing 4, 5, 6, 7 people living in one place, and it's still unaffordable. I mean, there needs to be a light at the end of the tunnel for young Australians. I mean, I'm paying off my HECS debt, a lot of my friends are. Combine that with the cost of living, and I mean, it's costing an arm and a leg, and we just need some relief because we're just from this survey that shows it's so bleak for us at the moment.
Billy, Joe makes great points there in the concept that so many young Australians can't even begin to try and save to possibly even make a deposit to buy a property because of cost of living, HECS debt and soaring costs with rent.
There's that, but also on the other side of that coin, you can say, and I do see this, I'm still currently in the workforce and I work with people, Gen Zs. I'm a millennial, I'm not some old boomer, by the way. I'm a millennial. I work with Gen Zs and they tell me, they go, hey, not really interested in saving. There's probably 2 reasons for it. It looks like that hurdle is getting higher and higher to buy a property. So why bother? Why grind for 10 or 20 years and not even be able to buy a house anyway? So they go and they enjoy lifestyle. Eating out, drinking and getting, going out partying, that stuff's expensive now. I could imagine a night out on the Terps would have to minimum cost you at least $150 if you're having a few drinks out. Well, what's a pint? $20? Entry, cabs around. I can't see how you could do a massive night out for under $300. How much are you guys spending, you young rascals, you young rapscallions out there still going out and hitting the beers? What do you spend on a big night out? I'd love to hear it. So they go, you know what, get stuffed. I'm going to be a doomer. I'm going to live life now and worry about it when I'm older. And I can see why you would do that. I don't think it's a good strategy. It is self-sabotaging because you definitely are ensuring that you'll never have a place if you do that. Because time is valuable. You give up that time, those compounding returns of life, well, you can't catch up on that.
Oh, it's actually really sad to see how we're setting up our young people for disaster. There really is no relief in sight for them. It doesn't even seem like we're really taking all their concerns and doing anything about them. It's like we expect them to, study and earn money and contribute to society, but we're not really listening to any of their concerns. And at the end of the day, these are the guys that are really going to be running the country in a few short years. Even something as simple as like climate change and how at the moment the opposition is debating whether to abolish the whole, net zero by 30. here. The fact that we're even thinking about doing something like that, we're saying to the young people of this country, it's actually a bit too expensive for us to deal with this. You guys deal with it in the future. What are we actually setting them up for? Honestly, it's for failure.
There are future generations and future leaders indeed. Moving on this afternoon, and has the rise in working from home combined with dating apps killed the office romance? Boomers...
If people go and do office romances, you got rocks in your head these days, because why would you go and do it and risk your work environment? You know, you get on with someone, doesn't work out, male or female, doesn't matter what gender you are, and you got to see them around the office. You got to tiptoe around. People gossip. It makes it feel uncomfortable overlapping your personal life into your work life and making it one and the same. I think there's a lot of younger people, Gen Zs, do that. Well, younger people have always done it. I know when I was starting out, I was doing it. Stupid though. You sort of do it once and you go, oh, that was dumb. Not doing that again. Well, some people never learn. You see those CEOs and all that getting in big trouble for, you know, getting on with the EA, you know, the secretary, and then it doesn't go well, and then she does a big story on it. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong for anybody, not just men, going and doing that. So I have no sympathy that this is not working out. Good. Don't go sleeping with people from work. I mean, you're running a huge risk. That's my opinion. That's my boomer opinion on it.
Generation Xers will tell you it used to be commonplace for many couples to meet at work. Now, not so much. What do you think about this, Jai?
Look, I think it's less of a case of Australians, you know, working from home and more a case of maybe people are being a little bit more selective about where they're choosing to date. I mean, we know dating with someone at work can be really risky. I mean, you know, you break up down the track, it's going to be really awkward coming to work. It's not like you can just leave unless you quit your job, which maybe people have done. But I mean, I don't know if it's best for couples as well to, you know, spend 24 hours a day with each other. I mean, you've got to have your own passions, your own kind of hustle. You know, maybe it works for some couples, you know, that's great if it does, but, you know, I don't know if it works for everyone. But I think it's maybe, less of a case of, you know, it just working from home, and maybe people are being a bit more picky and maybe seeing problems down the track and going, I don't want to go there.
Billy, Jai makes a great point there. There are some companies that actually, to reduce their risk, actually make sure, you know, if there is a couple or a relationship and they declare it, that they actually then, someone may be asked to leave that business because then they don't want any complications legally moving forward with conflicts of interest.
Look, totally. Like, everybody loves a bit of a saucy, naughty, you know, office romance, but you're absolutely right. Historically, we've seen that these things can go really badly, really quickly. So I guess I don't really know what to say. I haven't worked in an office for a really long time. You know, my office is working from home with my husband. So, yeah, I'm in that 24/7 situation. But, yeah, look, as long as HR doesn't get wind of it, like, been there, done that, it's not fun. You know, if you can stay...
That's the last thing you want, especially... Let's talk about dudes, right? Some dudes just got no common sense. They're going for the younger, attractive graduates, you know, executive assistant, secretary at work. Like, you've gone and busted your ass to get to a certain position in your career, and you're going to throw it all away, or risk throwing it all away, for what? Trying to pick up chicks? You know, you do one wrong thing, they're up to HR. See you later. One wrong thing, by the way, in somebody else's eyes, it might not be wrong. But once that campaign starts, there goes your reputation. Word's going to get out. You're toast. That's my opinion on it.
Stay clear from that and just kind of keep it maybe secret or something, you know? Bring in the fun.
All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Young people, old people, middle-aged people, don't go banging people from work. All right, let's move on. Before we keep going, probably call it a halfway. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, liking and sharing. I'm currently demonetized off YouTube, but I'm going to continue to upload. Hopefully we're back up and running in a few months. And if you guys want to support in the meantime, there are links and ways to do so in the video description and pinned comments. Got a PayPal link there if you want to support. Or I've got a locals page that I'm setting up that all my videos are going on. Might not be for everyone because it's not all this Australian content on there. It's also men's comedy. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out and support my work. Otherwise, just continue to watch me on YouTube. I really appreciate everyone who watches me every day. It's great.
James Ashby, let's go to those numbers out today. For all the talk that Labor promised in the election that it could get these migration numbers down.
Look at that.
You look at the detail.
Look at that. Yeah, we've got the migration numbers down. Look at that. You couldn't have more of a spike. We need to bring the voter base in. Labor needs to import them. Good old Brian Fleddy could see that. Good old blind Freddie.
Analysis from the Institute of Public Affairs. Very clearly, we are at September this year, just to September.
You're racist.
415,000 people. This is big Australia on steroids.
Yeah, this is, again, magnificent work from the IPA. Members, if you're not one, you should join because it helps craft this important information that we all need to know as Australians. Look, I got a good lesson when I was 18, Peter, on what it's like when you let too many people in. As a kid or a young bloke who went to nightclubs, there was always a limit on how many people could be in a building. And if that limit was 100, there was a reason for it, for safety, for the experience. You wanted to give club...
Let's not worry about nightclubs. Who cares about that analogy? I don't think it's a great one at all, right? Let's talk about what the big issue is. It's mostly around housing. More people coming in than housing is being made available while we're already in a deficit. It's going to result in one thing: rent prices going up, rental vacancy rates through the floor, property prices going up because everyone is just they don't want to be renters. They'll do whatever they can. They'll eat beans for 20 years. They'll sign up and pay the biggest price possible that they can service just to get a house. They don't want to be in the rental market anymore. Then you've got migrants who come over and they don't want to assimilate. And so you have social disharmony. That's the truth of the matter. Then we've got increased crime. A lot of people coming over from backgrounds where the law isn't respected, police aren't respected. It's the Wild West. There's a lot of heavy violence. And we end up where we are today, especially here in Melbourne, Victoria.
Patrons a good experience. And look, there was plenty of times where I was stuck outside in that queue just having to wait patiently until someone left for a cigarette and you'd go in. Right? And that was the thing that we did. Now, the same rules apply when it comes to immigration. If we over-commit people to this country, it just places too much pressure on everybody that's already here. And it ruins the experience for everyone. And I think we're all going through that at the moment. So simple analogies like that, they work, and I think it's what people understand. That is why people are hurting. That's why people are open to the discussion that, I guess One Nation's been ahead of the curve on this one for 30 years. We've been saying we've got to watch the numbers of people we bring into the country.
So you're always in One Nation? I thought, was there some scandal with this dude a few years ago, 10 years ago or something? Some sort of SA type stuff going on? He wasn't always One Nation, to my understanding. I should probably do my homework on that, but I recall him being a member of another party.
And equally as important, we have to watch the types of people that come into the country as well. But again, this is Labor putting their big intake of migrants in. And why are they doing that largely? Well, they want the vote, number one. And number two, they want to increase the number of parliamentarians before this term of Parliament's out. And why are they doing that? Because we've got a huge influx of people who have come into the country, and they try and make sure that there's never any more than 100,000 voters in any electorate. So that's why we're looking at, about an extra 50 new parliamentarians. Outrageous.
And that's, of course, why Tony Burke is holding these mass citizenship ceremonies, thousands of people at one time. Yep. And they're almost, as they walk out the door, signing the form to enrol to vote for that exact reason that you're making that.
Spot on. See, there you go. I'm not a crackpot. I'm not smoking. I'm not cooking on the glass Barbie. It's clear as day that's what's happening here.
Point there. Let's go to South Australia, your home state, Tony.
Anyway, let's move on. We've got a different topic now. It's cracking down. The government's cracking down. Good old Jacinda Allen apparently is cracking down on organised crime, and in particular crime figures or leaders who are recruiting kids to do the legwork, to do the dirty work. Life in jail, apparently. Let's see what this is all about.
Good afternoon. First at 4, gang leaders who recruit children to commit crimes on their behalf could be jailed for life under proposed new legislation. It's another part of the Allen government's youth crime crackdown, this time targeting organised crime networks who use social media to groom young offenders. Let's go straight to state political reporter Rochelle Brown. Rochelle, this is the next step in what is clearly a dramatic change in approach from our Premier.
Oh, yeah, so dramatic. I mean, laws. Do you think these people running around doing all this sort of stuff care about the laws? Oh, there's a new law in. Oh, better not do it. They are just doing it unashamedly. Home invasions, robberies, retail crime, everything. Oh, they're going to see the news. Oh, gang leaders are facing jail. Oh, we better stop that, guys. Better stop it.
Well, Laura, Jacinta Allen says it's an alarming trend gaining traction among crime gangs, not just here in Victoria, but right across the country. The Premier is now taking aim at what she describes as the evil puppet masters, the latest target of the state government's crackdown on youth crime. If the proposed changes do pass Parliament, adults who lure children to commit violent crimes would face up to 15 years in jail. That's up from the current 10. Those who recruit children to commit more serious offences could face life behind bars under a new offence still to be created. The pledge comes just one day after the Premier committed to putting children as young as 14 behind bars, mimicking a successful election promise made in Queensland. A teenage...
Good, you do crime, you're doing these serious crimes, you go behind bars. Who cares about letting them out? There was one kid that they let out 55 times. 55 times he was bailed. After the 55th time he was bailed, within 12 hours, he'd gone and created another very serious offence. Committed another serious offence. So what is that telling you? They don't give a stuff. Adult crime, adult time. Then they might think twice about it. They might. I don't think they've got a lot of intelligence of people doing these things, but they might think twice about it.
Convicted of a stabbing murder there today, sentenced to 16 years prison.
If you recruit a child to a life of extreme violence against others, you are evil. This behaviour being committed by youth offenders has a source, and that source is the organised crime gang ringleaders. They're being recruited in a way to commit these home invasions by these gang leaders like it's a job on air tasker.
This is widespread across the country, and we'll do everything we can.
Spot on. If they do catch these people, they should be locked away and the key thrown away, because you can say, yep, these kids, they can make their own choices. A lot of them are teenagers and minors, and they're going to be looking up to these people, thinking they're cool, thinking they're gangsters. They also want to be a gangster, and then ruining these kids' lives. These kids get into this cycle, and there's no getting out of that quicksand. Once you're in, you're in. They're the people you roll with. That's what your life's all about. So, yeah, ruining lives of people before they're just about started, absolutely. Hopefully they do catch some of these people and put them in the clink for life. Will it happen? Who knows?
To give police the tools they need to disrupt and dismantle organised crime, but also to bring serious consequences for those organised crime masterminds who are tasking young people to do their dirty work.
Politics aside, there's a bigger challenge that needs to be addressed to get the ringleaders before the courts. In the first place, there have been 32 incidents of recruiting children recorded in the past 4 years, but not one conviction, because the perpetrators often hide behind technology and they are so difficult to track. The legislation is still being written, so Victorians won't see any changes until next year, giving police some time.
Oh, wow. Give everyone a heads up just to go rampant. All right, let's move on. We've got a story here, just came through, so I'm going to watch it. Victoria introduces tough new retail crime laws.
New laws to protect retail workers against violent offenders will take effect by Christmas in Victoria as part of the state's crime crackdown. Live now to Nick McCallum in Melbourne. And Nick, it's hoped these tough new jail terms will help curb the state's rampant retail crime wave.
Well, Tash, the Premier promised she would do something about Victoria's retail crime 18 months ago. Finally today, some new measures introduced into Parliament this morning. The stipulation that if you assault or threaten to assault retail, hospitality, transport workers, you will now face up to 5 years in jail. For lower level assaults and threats, it's up to 6 months jail. Coming soon will be legislation to stipulate...
Any of this sort of stuff, not 3 months or 6 months in jail, 5 years. Or what's this sort of just monkey behaviour, people get carrying on like animals? Imagine that was your mum or dad working down the local checkout at Woolworths and they get punched in the mouth. Well, would you want to see someone get a couple of months in jail for it? God help me if anyone ever did that to anyone I knew. But I'm telling you, that just happens every day. You see the video of it. People just trying to do Bunnings workers getting attacked and pushed over and shoved over. Elderly people getting attacked. World has gone mad. Ken Bruce has gone completely mad. But in all seriousness, what is this?
If you are convicted of ram raiding a shop front, you will face up to 25 years jail.
Good.
And in April, legislation to introduce workplace protection orders. Now, they ensure repeat offenders are not allowed into particular shops or place of work. The Retail Association has been very upset with the government, pleading with it for months to do these sorts of things. But of course, the Premier says they have been consulting. Victoria last year had 82,000 separate incidents of retail.
Have a look at this. Have a look at it. The people are just, what, are they on the gear or what? Are they on the shard? Like who's doing this stuff where they just don't care about any rules of society and harming people? Something wrong with them.
Crime, an increase of 30%. This is the reason for the delay, according to the Premier.
This is the work that has been done to get the laws right here in Victoria, and the Parliament has the opportunity to get these laws passed as soon as possible and have them in place before Christmas.
Crime in Victoria is at record levels because the Victorian Labor Party under Jacinta Allen weakened bail laws. That was the trigger to see what we've seen today, where young offenders commit violent crimes and continuously get bail.
That's it, 55 times. It shouldn't even be 5 times, let alone 55. It should be, if they want to give someone a chance, depending on what they've done, 1 time. Do you know why they're doing it? Because the state's broke. They don't have the money to lock these people up or the facilities to do so. They said they have plenty of money to lock people up when people went voluntarily taking a jab, and they've gone and created those concentration camps, essentially. What's happened to those? Why can't you lock the kids up there? That's Melbourne, got a Burke Street Mall. That's where it all goes down. That's where all the zombies are. All the schizophrenics and mentally ill, drug affected, just plain nutcases. Good old Melbourne CBD, the place to be.
As I mentioned, the first part of the legislation was introduced in Parliament this morning. The Retailer Association a short time ago pleaded with Victorian parliamentarians from all sides to get it passed and passed quickly so it can be in force for the upcoming stressful and busy Christmas season. Tash?
Nick McCallum, thank you.
Good on you, mate. All right, and we got a bit of a feel-good story. A tradie pulling off a daylight citizen's arrest. Good old toxic masculinity at its finest.
Daylight citizen's arrest, rushing home from work to catch and confront an 18-year-old masked invader.
Front door, Dad! Front door! Get the
Bazza!
The hometown hero, Darcy McInnes, joins me now live from Mackay.
Why they bleep out what he said? I think it's good Aussie vernacular.
Queensland. Darcy, legend.
Hey, mate, how you going?
How you going, all right?
Yeah, good, mate, good.
Tell us what happened.
Got a notification on my phone, mate. That backdoor camera went off while I was at work. And I'm pretty lucky I work pretty close by. And, shot home, mate, and got him while he was in the middle of my house, so...
How'd that make you feel, champion?
Champion. Champion. Just so you know, Carl, calling someone a champion's not a good thing. It's like calling someone muscles when they have no muscles. Champion means you're not a champion. It means you're a shit bloke. Your head champion, not a compliment.
The adrenaline dump was unreal, mate. It was worse than getting in the ring, I'll tell you that much. So,
So you had no idea whether this guy was armed or not, but he's in your house.
That's right, mate. Yeah, no, didn't know what he had. You know, anything's a weapon, really, if you want it to be. So, yeah, no one's stealing my stuff, mate. I work pretty hard for it. So.
No, I agree with you, champion. I agree with them. It's happening everywhere,
Champion
right?
again.
Happening everywhere. So your mate, so this guy takes off. You get home. You're pounding on your own door. This guy takes off. There's you, and I'll get onto that.
Look at that massive Bowie knife. Good on him. Sure, that guy's going to absolutely shit a brick.
Thing in your hands in just a second, but this guy, you chase after him.
I guess to put it in the bin. I guess it's not in Victoria though.
Calls him. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so he jumps over that balcony there you see on the camera and jumps clean over the rail, and it's probably like 3.5 metre drop, and I'm just like, you know, I hope he breaks his legs here. Might teach him something.
Exactly.
But, yeah, he gets up and keeps running and then jumps another fence where I got in between me house and me shed. And then, yeah, I was just like, oh, he's quick, this lad. I'm glad I had me mate, and I just sued the dog onto him, mate, hoping the dog would get a hold of him, mate. And
Is it the police?
Yeah, me mate tracked him over one of the main roads here, and as soon as I let me dog go, but I'm just like thinking, oh, I hope my dog doesn't get hit by a car here. I lost a good golden lab not long ago here, got hit by a car sadly, but
oh, buddy.
Yeah, and then he got on top of him, and he just pretty much went to water, mate.
Yeah, tell me about that. What'd you say to him? Bearing in mind it's Brecky TV.
Yeah, I got to be pretty sensible on here, no, just a few swear words in there, and why the F are you in
Why is it blurred? Why are they blurring it?
my house, and
agree
pretty much that, and I'm gonna hurt you. But yeah, sadly,
he broke to the wrong house. Good stuff, Darcy. Good on you, buddy. All right, going to leave it there, guys. I need to keep listening to it. For those of you who want to support the channel, there's ways to do so. Once again, pin comment and video description. Appreciate that. See you in tomorrow's video. We'll keep it going. Cheers.